To Be Serious has asked me to say something, or if I had something to say, rather, on her virtual reality video, and I do. First of all, with the kind of marketing placement where they might use cognitive science to go ahead and like edit your memories to be a little bit hyperbolic about it. It's a little more subtle than that. But to the degree they could do things like that, insert, the idea is to insert, there's been research evidently, inserting false memories and changing brand ideas about brands and purchasing decisions. That will get worse in virtual reality. It's already worse online and Facebook, and the article was about them like auto photoshopping products into people's personal photos. I don't know how they get away with that. But that kind of thing already goes on. So I think to a degree, getting it more and more overt will leads to the point when eventually people have to notice what's happening to their minds. On the other hand, I don't think that the future of the human race is a single thing. I believe that humans are going to branch off from where we are now. And some of us are going to become mindless, unthinking Borgs. And as bad as that sounds, the Borg as a whole might be a wonderful, enlightened creature for all I know. Whereas the individuals just won't be my type. And I think other people are going to go on and live more in what will be a, single-celled type way. Instead of being Borg, they'll just be individuals as we know now, and more loose connections. And indeed, if we look at biology, there's every reason to suspect that we'll cooperate, that we might have some sort of symbiosis, those of us that are individuals still, which is how I like to think of myself in the future, though really I expect to have progeny go in both directions, because I think these are futures for mankind. It's a very difficult thing for me to accept. I used to want to do anything I could to stop that. But I found that it was, thinking that the human race has one future condition. It's like thinking that, that my condition is everybody's, or that my situation is everybody's, and I can decide for other people. And ultimately, I had to just look, well, what does it look like people want to do? And it looks like some people want to join together in a mindless, individually mindless collection of conformists. And I don't see any stopping that. And those people will have one reaction to the future, and others another, including with virtual reality. Now, specifically in virtual reality, I love virtual. I've spent years making virtual environments, and it was sparks a huge creative thing, but I don't really, I like being in them, but really just as a creator, I like creating them. I don't really see why people will allow themselves to waste too much time in them, but then again, I've had some mindless activities that I enjoyed too, so I kind of do understand. But what's really fun is making them. And I think that some minority will discover that from this opportunity. And that's probably, in my value system, worth the cost of people who don't discover anything except for that they can continually satisfy some sort of hedonism. Another way of looking at it is, what would happen if you took a mentally ill person and put them into a virtual reality? Probably wouldn't necessarily be that healthy, because in that virtual reality, they're in a world of the mind. Largely their own mind, but also with the contributions of everybody that created it. And that's kind of the situation we're in. People pretty much are mentally ill. That's what makes us worry if they can handle being in the mental world. Because other than that, if you were in a virtual reality that was entirely filled with not perfectly healthy people, but mentally healthy people, and it was created by mentally healthy people, then you would have a world of the mind. It might be a little bit distracting. I personally believe you have to touch base in the real world, but it could be an addition to those real world experiences, and some of the most amazing additions, because it's this abstract world of ideas. And, being in two places at once, there's things in there that can sharpen your mind theoretically, in these ideas. But the scary part is that's not what we're looking at. we're looking at, it was like I just made a video on the nuclear. I mean, if we're looking at our smartest, most careful people running it, like, this could be a great thing, but that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at profit crazy, greed is good culture trying to do this. So shoving people like us into virtual reality is going to be a postmodern nightmare. But, I think we have to go through it and survive it, and I think that might be the only way we learn what we need to learn in order to survive it. And those happen to be the same lessons we need to learn to survive life on Earth as we know it now. So I embrace this coming challenge.